Hello, I think I am live. I'm never quite sure, but I think I am. So, let's get started. Today, I'm going to edit today's photo, which I did not go outside and take a video of myself taking the photo today because I went outside and I walked around outside and I looked for something interesting to take a photo of. Any sort of new growth or anything, and nothing was seeming very interesting to me. I could see some things that were ready to bloom that weren't quite there yet, but I thought maybe I'm gonna have to go for a walk with my camera, find something new off of our property. But then I remembered that I do have a memory card with a few things on it that I haven't really taken a look at to edit, and I thought maybe that would be what I would do for today's photo. So let's get into Lightroom and see what our options are. All right. I have quite a variety today, so we'll see what we land on. Just gonna look through a few of these with you here. If anyone happens to notice that I'm streaming and stops in, please do let me know in the chat that you're there. I think that I'm like, for some reason, I am set up so that my stream is quite a bit behind like reality. So if you leave a comment or a note or anything in the chat, I may not see it. I'll see it, but it might take a while for it to show up. So just a heads up on that. I haven't quite figured out how to fix that problem. I found the setting that I think would fix it, but it isn't fixing it. So I have some research to do on that. All right, let's see here. Okay, so I like the water droplet. I don't like it when it's not in focus though. That's another thing I maybe need to do, is not shy away from taking pictures of just green things. Like, I don't mind the green background, but I tend to look for color, like flowers and stuff, and then I ignore all the green stuff. This reminds me of a photo that I took last summer. I went out to take some photos of some bees. Yeah, it is the same spot. I'll show you. I'll pull over a picture that I took that I put on Instagram here. These same flowers. And I got this picture of a bee, and then there's another picture. Oh, not that one. This one. Nope. Let me look back here. This is the one I was thinking of. Those were fun to follow those bees around because there were so many bees on the blossom, so it gave me a chance to really play around and experiment with getting a good shot. Okay. Stopping on some of these just to kind of experiment with what I can do to see if it feels worth exploring further. This one's kind of interesting in a weird sort of way. it's like I can't decide if I really like it or not. It's kind of cool. I guess I wish that this, I don't know even what to call it, this branch was more in, like it's in focus, but I wish that the ones on the edge here are blurry, but then there are some, like this one in the corner, that's just as in focus as this one, and I think it would be cooler if just the middle one was in focus. Plus, yeah, like I don't know how in focus these center parts are. They're not super in focus, and that kind of bugs me. Always fighting with the shallow depth of field. Let's take a step outside of nature now. I found this on the side of the road near our house by an old barn on our property, and I don't know, it took me back in time, and I thought it was kind of cool to see it just sitting there, totally beaten up, not in the greatest state, and obviously like ruined, but I don't know, I just thought it was kind of cool. So maybe worth a little bit of tweaking around and playing with. Yeah, I kind of like this one. It's kind of fun. It might actually be fun to put a filter on it that makes it look older, like it was taken with, like film from the 70s when it's like all like yellowy or brown, looks aged. So if you're not super familiar with working in Lightroom, one nice feature is you can take the settings from one photo and apply them to another. So I'm just going to control select this other photo and hit sync. And then this pops up, and you can decide which settings you want to sync, which settings you don't want to sync, and then hit synchronize, and the other photo will just automatically have all the same settings applied to it as the first photo. So you can see similar before and after to these two shots, but I could pick the crop that I prefer using the same edits. And I like this one more, so I'm going to flag that one for later. That might be the photo of the day today, but why not keep going? So this photo is a reflection, obviously, of just a puddle on a rainy day. And not a reflection of a puddle, a reflection in a puddle. And I thought it was kind of a cool, oh, I like that, taking away some of that haze and making the reflection clearer. Question is, do I do anything to bother with adjusting the look of the ground around the puddle, or do I just ignore that? And if I'm going to do anything with it, do I need to do two different edits and combine them? I don't know that I would with a photo like this, because the ground isn't even really in focus. Maybe if I planned it ahead of time to be that way, I could have taken two shots. One where I focus on the puddle, the reflection, and one where I focus on the ground, but for what this is, I don't think it's really worth it. I might just play with like taking this outside of the normal range of what it would look like and just like, yeah, I don't know. If I compare, let's see this other reflection here, how it looks. Pretty similar. All right, I'm gonna keep going. I'm just in the mood. I might regret this later when I don't have a photo to work with on another day, but we'll just go for it. This one's kind of cool. It's the only shot I got of this. How would I edit this? This one kind of makes me want to try vignette and see. I don't know, just because it feels kind of like a rainy day, gloomy, it's all droopy. Do I want it to be darker? Where have I taken it from where it started? Sometimes it feels like I've made a lot of tweaks and then I look at the comparison and they're not hugely different, but this one I'm kind of curious how it would look if I went with like a more vertical crop. I kind of like that. Yeah, I kind of like this guy. How's our detail looking? If I can play with the texture and the clarity. Whoops. Sometimes in playing with these tools, I think I'll look back later and think that I took them too far, but in the moment, sometimes it's pretty fun to push things. All right, I got a few shots of this one. Like this teeny little twig branch coming out of a tree. Okay. Just need to decide which crop. Where are we focusing? I don't usually put things in the lower part of the photo that I want to be the subject, but maybe this is interesting. Well, maybe we'll just play with that one that's in the lower area. So interesting to look at things up close like that. Sometimes they do not look the way I expect. Like it almost looks like a little bit hairy or furry on the edge of these leaves. Like who would have thought? I wonder what that actually would have feel like. I think they're like that as it is. That's going to be one of the ones I choose. That's a favorite. There we go. Okay, so watching these photos, I'm like, the buds aren't in focus. Branch is more in focus, buds aren't fully in focus. Like if you zoom in on these, they're not how I'd want. Even this is actually a bit blurry. I wonder if I had this on a little too slow of a shutter speed. Cool though that you can see these little spider webby lines. I don't know how well you can see that. But then the last one, I could see that I managed to align myself so that the branch and the buds were on a similar focal plane. So we have focus, yes, that's much better. Makes me happy to see that I was paying attention to that in the moment and was able to pull it off. I know that in moments like this, because I'm working with such a shallow depth of field, I'm thinking about how the front of my lens lines up with the thing that I want in focus. And it's like, if I'm straight on to the branch and the buds, I can get them all in focus. But if I'm a little bit this way or a little bit this way, then the branch or the buds are going to be out of focus, or one bud's going to be in focus and the other isn't. So it can be a little finicky trying to get it right in the moment, and satisfying after the fact when you're looking at it in post-production and you can get what you're after. I've been thinking that if I'm going to do these editing lives, I should probably come up with a time that's going to be consistent, so that if anyone wants to join me, they can actually do that on purpose instead of just accidentally when you happen to be online when I'm live. Because it would be fun to actually have someone there to talk to while I'm editing. But I haven't figured out when that should be, because yeah, I just don't know when a good time will be. Maybe I just need to pick one. So if you happen to rewatch this and you have an opinion about time, let me know, because maybe I can plan for a time that works for you. I think I like that crop. Okay, I'm gonna keep going just because I feel like it, and why not? Even though nobody's there right now. Maybe you'll watch this later. Okay, this was kind of a fun spot to play with, but I remember at the time when I was taking the photos, my legs were kind of dying from squatting, and I didn't have the patience to keep trying. It's one of those things where, especially if there's wind, I would be wishing for a tripod so that I could really get these water droplets the way I want them in focus. Did I pull it off for any of these shots? It could have been really cool if I had. I don't know if I did. No, not like I would want. Oh, that one's not bad. How's the last one? That one's kind of blurry. Okay, let's see. How did this one look? Oh, I don't know. It's not amazing, but it might be cool enough till I get the chance to try again. To decide how exposed I want that to be. It's kind of cool, but I'm not fully satisfied with it. I do think it would be fun to try something like that again. These flowers have bloomed and gone. And I'm pretty sure I was not. I have a feeling I'm not going to be satisfied fully with any of these. I just kept finding it was like they have so much going on in so many different like layers that, and again, the shallow depth of field issue with macro photography, where it was hard to figure out how I wanted to shoot it, so I kept trying to shoot from above. That one's kind of cool, except that I cut off part of the petal at the bottom. Probably the wind's fault. I will blame the wind. Okay. Maybe that one was kind of cool. Could come back to it. yeah, it's just tricky to figure out how to shoot it. Like here, these lower petals that have the cool design are more in focus, and the top petals are out of focus. I could go the other way around, but it's like I just want them all to be. That's actually not too bad for what I was just talking about. And some things like that, I think you can do better in a studio where you have no wind and you can control your lighting and you can use a tripod. But when you're out in the wild, that one's actually hard to choose on these ones. When you're out in the wild, it's a lot harder to control all the variables. That one's kind of cool. Gosh, now I'm choosing them all and I need to narrow it down. Kind of like that one. Getting to go. I've just picked a bunch of these and I think I need to unpick them so when I come back I'm not gonna have to sort through them all. Since I've already chosen one to edit. I'm just like confirming how am I gonna regret that I didn't edit that one? That one's kind of cool. I might come back to it. Okay. Here's where we were. I kind of like this one. I think I like this one the best, maybe. I wouldn't mind if more of this pattern part was in focus. But this little swooshy part is cool. And so is this. It almost looks like glittery. Yeah, I like this one. I'm not even sure what I want to do to it. I might change the crop a smidge to make the stem straight. But do we want the stem straight, or is it nice when it's not? Because that's how nature rolls. I think I like it. Okay, this one's kind of cool. What's our before and after like? I mean, subtle, I guess, but I like it. If I do the blacks a little bit here, what will happen? I almost wonder if I've made it a little more like crisp or harsh than I want compared to this one. This one feels softer. I think it's still pretty cool. I don't know why, but I like this one a lot. Gonna keep going. These flowers, I think these are orchids. They're really cool. Okay, even this, like, totally out of focus, except this little line right here of petal. I don't know why, but I mean, I don't think I would choose this photo, but I just think that's so cool what you can do with depth of field in photography. To have this photo completely out of focus, and yet there's this little smidge right here in focus. I don't know, is that just a me thing? Maybe that's why I like photography, because that stuff intrigues me. This is so pretty. I mean, so is that. I wonder if I could do some sort of a zoomed in situation by cropping it. Whoops, I did not mean to crop it that way. Like, I kind of wish I had the end of that petal, but I just like that. I don't know. Does it show off how cool the flower is? Is it really in focus? A little bit, a little bit. I don't know, is that cool? Or am I just getting lost in it? I don't think that's much in focus. This almost looks like fabric right here. Kind of crazy. That one's out of focus. This one, I wish that part was in focus up there as well, but I think there could be a better crop for this, but I'm not sure what it is. I don't know. I think it's cool to look at, but I don't know that it's an amazing photo, so we'll move on. Okay, this angle has some potential. This might have been a good choice for showing off this flower. And it looks like I did some vertical ones. Okay, I do like these, but I'm at a point right now where I feel like I'm getting a little tired of editing. So I think I'm gonna call it quits for right now and maybe save the rest of the photos for next time. I need a photo of the day without actually going out and taking a photo in that moment. So if you rewatched, maybe you got something out of this. Maybe you enjoy just watching the edit process, and maybe I can come up with a more consistent time soon so that if anyone wants to join me, they can, and we can actually chat. Hope you have a great day. If you did watch, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to know what you think. Anything you'd like to see me do differently, I am happy to try it, because I'm all about experimenting right now with this project. Have a great day. See ya.